In the heart of West Africa, centuries ago, rose a kingdom unlike any other. A kingdom guarded not just by men, but by an elite force of women warriors. Feared by enemies, respected by allies, and remembered in legend. They were known as the Agojie, or as the world calls them today, the Dahomey Amazons. The Kingdom of Dahomey, in present-day Benin, was founded in the 1600s. Surrounded by rivals and engaged in constant warfare, survival depended on military strength. Legend says that the Agojie began as elephant hunters, women chosen for their fearlessness. But soon, their role expanded. By the early 18th century, King Agojie and his successors began training women as a standing army. They were more than bodyguards. They became an unstoppable military machine. To join the Agojie was no simple choice. Girls and young women were recruited, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes taken from families. Once enlisted, they gave up marriage and children. Their loyalty was to the king, and to war. They trained with muskets, swords, and machetes. They climbed thorn bushes to harden their skin. They scaled walls of thorn and engaged in brutal combat drills. Discipline was absolute. An Agojie warrior was taught to feel no fear, and to show no mercy. The Agojie were organized like a modern army, divided into regiments. The gunners, armed with muskets. The archers, masters of the bow. The reapers, wielding machetes in close combat. The hunters, stealth warriors skilled at tracking. At their height, the Dahomey Amazons numbered between 4,000 and 6,000 soldiers, making up nearly a third of Dahomey's entire military. The Agojie fought in countless wars, defending Dahomey against neighboring kingdoms and expanding its influence. Their bravery became legendary. European observers described them as more terrifying than any man. Armed with spears, clubs, and later rifles, they marched with chants that shook the battlefield. But their loyalty was not just to war. They served the king as his enforcers, protectors, and sometimes executioners. Their presence struck fear not only in enemies, but in Dahomey itself. By the 19th century, European powers had arrived in West Africa. Trade turned to domination. Dahomey, like many kingdoms, was drawn into the transatlantic slave trade. The Agojie often captured prisoners of war. Some became slaves, others were sacrificed in ritual ceremonies. But soon, they faced a new enemy, not just African rivals, but European empires armed with advanced weapons. When France began its conquest of Dahomey in the 1890s, the Agojie stood on the front lines. In two brutal wars, they fought with unmatched courage, charging into gunfire, refusing to retreat. French officers described them as the bravest opponents they had ever faced. But courage was not enough against European artillery. In 1894, the Kingdom of Dahomey fell. The Agojie were defeated, but never forgotten. Though their kingdom fell, the story of the Agojie lived on. In Benin, their memory is honored as a symbol of strength and resistance. Around the world, they have inspired books, films, and legends, even serving as inspiration for the warrior women of Wakanda in Black Panther and Woman King. The Dahomey Amazons remind us that Africa's history is filled with warriors, men and women, who fought for their people, their freedom, and their place in the world. They were more than soldiers. They were daughters, sisters, and mothers of a nation. They defied the expectations of their time, and became eternal. The world calls them the Dahomey Amazons. But in their homeland, they will always be remembered as the Agojie, Africa's fearless warrior women. Stories like this remind us of the strength of Africa's past. If you believe the world should hear more, join us on Africo Multimedia, where culture lives, and legends never die. This has been Africo Multimedia, telling the untold stories of Africa's culture, history, and beauty. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more African stories.